Hey y'all MMA fans, we welcome you back with yet another dope video. This video will blow your minds with some instant karma that got served fresh and hot. So what are you waiting for? Hop on and check out these 10 MMA fighters who got instant karma hit right back in the face immediately. 1. Chalmers vs. Browning. Aaron Chalmers and Corey Browning fought against each other in February 2019. And this match was an absolute treat to the eyes. Aaron Chalmers lost despite being pitted against Corey Browning, who was still an American underdog. The massive upset at the Bellator event in Newcastle started with Aaron bragging about his constant hits and undermining Browning for being a novice. He claimed to be generally much more brutal than the opponent. Well, it seems karma was twisting its fist while Aaron claimed his superiority. With a powerful strike, Chalmers dropped Browning to the floor. As the crowd cheered for him, he raised his arms in victory. This was a classic case of premature victory celebration, as in no time, Browning landed a massive hit on Chalmers, leading him to losing his balance. Browning then secured a rear naked choke submission, causing Chalmers to tap out and resulting in a victory for Browning. Helwani tweeted, Aaron Chalmers lost his first pro fight to the upset killer Corey Browning third round sub. Ouch. However, Corey Browning was humble in his talk to the media post his win.
Do you think it was a pretty dominant fight overall? Do you think the ref could have stopped it in the second when...
I think he could have, but, hometown thing, I don't blame him for not. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, I don't blame him for not stopping it. I really hope so. I told him that in the cage. I was like, man, just don't stop. You're tough enough. Just keep going. I mean, he's really new to the sport. I mean, to be fair, he's been doing it the right way. Fighting the less experienced people is how you're supposed to start. This is supposed to be an amateur career.
2. Hikaru Sato vs. Jonathan Ivey. Alright, this is a classic case of bragging left, right, and center and then being humbled by karma. In July 2013, an open weight match brought Hikaru Sato vs. Jonathan Ivey against one another at Pancrase 284. Jonathan Ivey knows how to entertain and amuse his fans, and before his match, Big John did this job perfectly. His pre-match sentiments made him appear nothing less than a blowhard. He kept mocking his opponent. Honestly, many of his words came under the radar for being racist.
Craigs to show the world who's the best leg locker in the world. Not Sato. I've never heard of anybody he's ever leg locked. He's been leg locking schoolgirls. I've been leg locking professional fighters. I came to show I'm #1 at Pancrase.
But guess what? Karma was not playing around and had its agenda. Ivey showed off his famous crane technique, but it led to one punch from Sato, and he was out like a light. 3. James Gallagher vs. Ricky Bandejas. Actions speak louder than words, and the MMA fans witnessed this firsthand at the match fought by Gallagher against Bandejas. Gallagher had a big ego and loved to show off in all the talks and interviews before the big day.
When I walk back in there, I'm going to let it all go. Every shot, his head's going to move. Every takedown, he's going to hit the floor. Every transition, I'm going to be a step ahead. Every position I want to hold, he's stuck. Any submission I go, he's dead.
But his showdown with Ricky Bandejas indeed humbled him. Gallagher began the match on a high note. But at one moment in the fight, Bandejas delivered a massive kick on the chin. This led to a flurry of strikes while the opponent was down for the count. Bellator MMA even tweeted about Ricky's performance. 4. Johan Segas vs. Joe Harding. The match between the silencer Johan Segas and Joe Harding at BCMMA 18 was a classic example of karma doing its work to balance things out. As the match started, Harding showcased a nonchalant attitude towards his opponent. His body language was whack, and it seemed he wasn't interested in the fight. Fans found it weird as it seemed he was flapping around, not showing any clear direction. He hadn't taken his opponent seriously and was sure of his victory. As soon as the match reached its third round, Segas had enough of this attitude and blew a massive head kick to Harding, leading to his knockout. The videos of this brutal knockout went viral instantly, with the fans showcasing their disappointment. One fan account tweeted, Joe Harding just danced his way to a head kick KO loss as Johan Segas connects and is now the interim 145-pound champion. John McGuire tweeted, let's just say dancing doesn't work in the cage. Boom, what a head kick knockout here. 5. Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman. Anderson Silva is a star, but he's like a peacock in the ring, which keeps flaunting to impress the crowd. His flashy moves are primarily risky, and his match with Chris Weidman greatly humbled him. The match was held at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas in 2013. Despite being a hot favorite in the match, he lost his game in the second round when Chris Weidman caught him off balance and hit him on the floor. The match also ended the campaign's winning streak in the UFC history of longest title reign. Fans tweeted, "Words can't describe how I'm feeling right now. Beyond happy, proud, and excited for the new champ, Chris Weidman." 5. Carlo Huenio versus Lindsey. This match was undoubtedly a perfect example of karma being a rubber band. You can only stretch it so far before it comes back and smacks you in the face. The match between Carlo Huenio and Lindsey started well, with both fighters trading powerful blows in the early rounds. But then once it hit the third round, Lindsey's whole vibe shifted. He appeared to be highly self-assured that he would come out victorious. This led to taking advantage and passing a kick at his opponent's jaw. This was a pretty solid kick, leading to Lindsey's defeat. 7. Sergey Arcaya versus Alexander Emilianenko. The combat between Sergey Arcaya and Alexander Emilianenko, the Grim Reaper, started smoothly. Both the fighters displayed impressive mastery of their craft. During the second round, Emilianenko landed a soft punch on Arcaya's jaw. We have no idea what got into Arcaya's head, and he started acting all tough, asking for more. Acting pretty cocky, he kept egging Emilianenko to punch him more. And then he was served with brutal punches, leading to his ultimate knockout. 8. Dominic Reyes versus Jordan Powell. A head kick can be brutal in an MMA match, especially when a fighter's cocky and overconfident. The match between Dominic Reyes and Jordan Powell in June 2017 showcased precisely that. The explosive striking power of Dominic Reyes is known to all. His shots were brutal, but Powell kept posing as if nothing had happened, and he was completely unaffected by the shots. He honestly acted like a driver who speeds through a red light and ends up in a crash. There was a momentary distraction in the match, and that was when Reyes took advantage and landed the perfect blows on his opponent that knocked out Powell. Fans weren't far behind, giving a play-by-play on Twitter. Dominic Reyes knocked Jordan Powell out cold with a big HK in 53 seconds of R1, right as Powell was shaking his head telling Reyes nothing was landing at LFA 13. 9. Julian Wallace versus Ben Nguyen. Julian Wallace got a lifelong lesson when he tried to intimidate Ben Nguyen. During the weigh-in session, Wallace acted slightly over-smart and tried to flex on him to look tough. As soon as Nguyen got a chance, he knocked him out in just 25 seconds. And do you know what's even more embarrassing? The picture of him knocking out got viral and plastered across social media. Instant karma straight off the grill. 10. Jason Solomon versus Amitesh Chabi. In 2015, Jason Solomon and Amitesh Chabi had a fight where karma took over and outperformed both fighters. Solomon was confident as ever, which was evident from his demeanor. He kept waving at his fans while walking towards the ring and made various hits at the ladies. Chabi kept ignoring his weird tactics for some time. And when he had enough, it took him just one punch to humble Solomon. One right hook, and he was knocked off. Showboating and taunting can backfire for anyone who enters the ring being too overconfident. Alright folks, that's all the karma for today. We'll be back with more juicy MMA news in another video. Until then, peace out.